hope this video finds you well. Yesterday, I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast in regards to Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Very interesting. It was an interesting podcast. Obviously, they're mostly talking about acting and how they make movies and things of that nature, and I apologize for some of the language in it. Ben is clearly from Boston, so every now and again he drops some colorful language in everywhere. But I want to discuss hour 2:05 is the timestamp. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. If you listen to hour 2 and 05, you'll see three men, high level, obviously Joe Rogan, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, discussing BPC-157 and TB-500. These are two peptides. They are built for, the peptides are obviously natural in nature, can be made from compound pharmacies, and are or aren't available depending on where your clinic, you may or may not have access to them. What I would stress, number one, is the fact that BPC-157 at this current moment, you can't find it necessarily for human consumption. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that in Alabama, especially right now, a clinic in North Alabama got hit very hard with basically a scenario where they were offering BPC-157 to their clients. Whether or not they were telling them they were not for human consumption is up for current debate and going to trial at some point, I'm sure. But clinics have to be very careful with peptides and those types of scenarios, because at this moment, from what we've looked for, because we've been trying to find for human consumption peptides, and that's all we can serve in the state of Alabama at this moment, you have to understand that unfortunately they're tough to find. And one very interesting, if you look up a couple podcasts by Brigham Bueller, he is on JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, a lot. He owns Ways to Well out of Texas. They obviously serve different peptides. What specific peptides they do serve, I'm not fully familiar with. But I will tell you they go deep dive on peptides and what's happening in legislature and in government on them. The current administration is working on peptides and working to get them more mainstream. However, there is still kind of a underlying war in that going on right now. And I would urge you to discuss with your local legislature, local administrators, to basically stop the scenario where there are elites using these drugs and using these peptides specifically and for very productive reasons, whether they're injecting it locally into injuries, taking inflammation down, and solving gut issues that generally they can do. BPC-157 is a major inflammation contributor. It will take your total body inflammation down, the local site. If you have an injury, it'll take the inflammation way down as well and promote healing. In the Joe Rogan Experience with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck specifically, they discuss local hamstring injury of an NFL player that literally he should have been out 6 to 8 weeks, and he was out 2 weeks and playing full speed within 2 weeks. We need to understand, as a general population, things like that are out there. And then why they're also getting maybe blocked by Big Pharma, or there are lobbies against them. The entire orthopedic surgeon community may not want to be put out of business in certain scenarios, and they want to be for profit, or they're making money based off of surgeries and different scenarios like that. I myself have had 2 ACL reconstructions basically on each knee. I had what's called happy family, which I tore all 3 ligaments in both knees in 2 separate scenarios. The doctor, I used 2 very good doctors, and I would highly advise people to use those doctors, but I would also highly advise people to look into it further before they get their ACL reconstructed, just because of the cardiovascular risks that are also involved in a major knee surgery like that. And generally, that is not very well known. Most people don't know that you have an over 50% more likely chance of having heart attack or cardiovascular event after having a ACL replacement, because it's a major surgery on what's called your lower heart, which is your legs and also your calf muscles. So generally speaking, you want to absolutely take care of your legs, no matter if you've had reconstruction or not, on a regular basis. And calf raises, rebounding, all those things are very, very easy to do, even in a sedentary environment, whether you're working at home, have children, or whatever. One thing I always tell any friends or anybody that'll listen to me is doing a power hour with your children. I ask my daughter every day, has she done her jumps today? Has she done her rebounding? What rebounding does, it helps your lymphatic system, it helps your whole body just move, get gravity moving. I'll kind of throw my hands up multiple times to kind of get the blood flow out of your arms. Do everything you can to just general wellness and help yourself, right? There are so many little things that you can do, even push-ups, sit-ups. There's a bunch of stuff that even sedentary people can do. And dear Lord, get into a sauna. Get into a sauna. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys.